Coming up soon, we'll have the console top 6, where we look at what's good and what's not so good in the world of consoles.
Hello again. Now today is the 10th of November 2016. It's release day for the brand new PlayStation 4 Pro. So it must be an unboxing. No, as you've already gathered from the title of this video, this is not an unboxing, this is an unboxing. And the reason for that is that the PlayStation 4 Pro is something I have bought for myself as a birthday present. I was going to say early birthday present, it's not. I'm going to give it to my wife, who will wrap it up and give it back to me. And I might also do that with the PlayStation 4. So instead of unboxing the PlayStation 4 Pro, I'll be talking about it instead. Now, Sony over the years, of course, have brought out 4 PlayStations, and halfway through the life cycle of the PlayStation 3, they brought out the PlayStation 3 Slim. It was exactly the same as the original model, just in a smaller box, because technology had moved on and Sony could pack everything into a smaller box. And they've done the same with the PlayStation 4. We're about halfway through the lifespan of the console, so they've brought out the PlayStation 4 Slim. And it's on the market at a really good price. It's a smaller package and it's a lower price than the original PlayStation. A really good buy if you're into that kind of thing. But differently to the PlayStation 3, with the 4, they've also brought out a brand new console in the shape of this PlayStation 4 Pro. And it's got higher specs. And we're not just talking a little speed bump here. This is massively improved actually over the PlayStation 4, the original. It's got the same processor as the PlayStation 4, but it's got much better graphics capabilities, which of course in a games console is all important. Now, if you're interested in the numbers, you can see that the PlayStation 4 has a much lower figure for teraflops in the graphics department. And you don't really need to know anything about teraflops to understand that this is of course good news. If this number on the right is much bigger than the number on the left, then hey, better graphics.
But of course the PS4 isn't the only console on the market. The Xbox has recently been updated with the Xbox One S. Now this does include 4K, but only for streaming. On the gaming side it includes HDR, which is a good improvement, but this is really only a small step up from the standard Xbox. The big change is going to come next year when Microsoft release Project Scorpio. For me, the PS4 Pro just edged it because of the 4K gaming. So with that decision made, I think now it's time to have a look at the console top 6. Down to 6 is the Nintendo Wii U, arguably the most embarrassing thing to come out of Japan since karaoke. Up 7,000 places to number 5 is Snake from Nokia. It's not a console, and it's tough to find a phone that has it, but it's still better than a Wii U. Straight at number 4 is the PS4 Slim. This is the smallest and cheapest console in the chart, and despite being a base PS4, it has HDR supporting games. Down to 3 is the Xbox One S. It boasts 4K HDR streaming and is the only console here with an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive built in. For gaming it supports HDR but not 4K, so if you're an Xbox fan you may want to wait for next year's update unless you really like the white case. A non-mover at 2, it's the Goombay Dance Band with 7 Tears. And straight in at number 1 is the PS4 Pro. 4K gaming with HDR support, streaming, GDDR5 RAM and 4.2 teraflops of graphics oomph. Inexplicably, the Blu-ray drive isn't Ultra HD. However, this is the best spec'd gaming machine on the market, at least until Project Scorpio ships in 2017. Not half.
Now, it's also got other features as well, many things that aren't included really in the headlines, one of which is the fact that PlayStation 4 Pro has an optical output for audio, which I think is great. I have optical on my surround sound system. It's so ancient, my surround sound, it hasn't got HDMI, so the fact that there's optical on the PlayStation 4 Pro is really great news, and another reason why I decided to buy one. It means if I decide to use it for media streaming services, then it's going to fit really nicely into my home entertainment system. I wasn't really planning on using it for streaming media. I have Netflix, for example, on my Freesat box, but none of my streaming devices at the moment have Amazon Prime, so if I decided I wanted to subscribe to that as well, that is available on the PlayStation 4, so that gives me an option for that. One of the things, of course, that this box also does, and this is one of the things that's new on the PlayStation 4, is a 4K output. Now, I've never been that impressed by 4K. In fact, I could waffle on for hours and bore you rigid, if I haven't already, about why 4K is a complete and utter waste of time, particularly on your television set. There is, however, a technology which is going to make a big difference. When combined with 4K, it is going to improve picture quality massively. And that is something called High Dynamic Range, HDR. Yes, we love our acronyms in the tech world. And what HDR is a massively improved colour palette. Many more colours than you can cope with on a PlayStation 4 originally. Yes, the PlayStation 4 Pro does have HDR. The really great news is that this HDR technology is also available on the PlayStation 4 Slim, and through a firmware update will be available on all old PlayStation 4s as well. This is great news if you're in the market for a new TV set in the coming months and years, because HDR is the thing to look for. When you buy a 4K set, don't buy a cheap 4K set, get one with HDR, because that's where it's going to be at. And of course, there's no broadcast content with HDR in it at the moment, or if there is, there's hardly any of it to speak of. So when HDR and 4K is going to come into its own is with devices like the PlayStation 4 and of course the update to the Xbox One. So the next question is, why have I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro? The fact is that I haven't actually got a proper games console. My only other console I've ever owned is a Nintendo Wii. That's embarrassing. I've never been a heavy gamer. I used to game when I had a PC, but of course these days I have a Mac, and although this Mac Pro here is pretty good in the graphics department, it's still way below anything that a proper custom PC build would be able to give you. So that means that I haven't really got anything that can play games particularly well, and that's part of the reason why I don't. If you haven't got the technology, you haven't really got something that's going to do the job very well, then simply why bother? The PlayStation 4 Pro ticks a lot of boxes. It's future-proof in 4K and HDR. It's going to be another couple of years at least before the PlayStation 5 comes out, so now was a really good time to buy. And if you're strapped for cash, an original PlayStation 4 with a firmware upgrade may be the way to go. The PlayStation 4 Slim is good price as well. Here in the UK, it's retailing for $259. If you shop around, you can get a PlayStation 4 Pro for not a massive amount more. I paid $332 for mine on a price match, which means for the extra £73 I've got that extra teraflops of graphics power, I've got the optical out, and of course I've got a much more capable games machine to boot. The PlayStation 4 Pro as well, by default out of the box, has more storage, has 1 terabyte, whereas you're more likely to get a Slim with 500 gigabytes, but let's not sort of throw numbers about because that's not interesting. So that's it, an unboxing of the PlayStation 4 Pro. I do intend to do a proper unboxing when I can get my hands on this in a few weeks' time. But in the meantime, I will just have to carry on talking about it. If you've got any ideas for games to buy, for example, I'm still not sure whether to go for FIFA 17 or PES 17, really don't know what to do there, then post your comments below, and I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say about it. I've got all sorts of thoughts around on the FIFA PES front, and not all of it is to do with gameplay, so I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I know this has been a bit of a rabbit and not really very interesting to watch, but I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. And I'll see you next time, probably with the unboxing of this. Bye for now.